Welcome back to Tractors in Life. My name's Kevin. So let me tell you what you're going to see in this episode. This is going to be all about the tractor. If you watch our channel, you may have seen a couple episodes ago where I did all the complete maintenance on the tractor. Wrench to tighten this back up. All right, yeah, but here it comes. Matter of now I'm kind of working on the more superficial side of it, ultimately leading up to undercoating the tractor with rust-proofing material, and we'll talk more about that later. Also just going to clean the interior of the tractor, going to pressure wash the outside, going to try to get the undercarriage as well since I'm rust-proofing. Going to paint the front bucket, and also going to put the one and only attachment that I use for snow plowing on the vehicle. By the end of this episode, this tractor will be ready to plow some buffalo snow. Thanks for joining us, and let's get to work. So one of the things that I like to do, kind of at the end of the season in my preparation for winter, is to get the, I'll get my truck detailed and also the tractor before we start. I just like to start the year with everything clean. Trying this new glass cleaner today, Castle. Wonder if you guys know anything about it. I got it from Napa. You know, finding a good glass cleaner that doesn't leave streaks, you know, because that gets annoying, it's tough to do. We'll see how this one does. I do think shop towels work really good for windows because you don't get a lot of lint with them. So I'm gonna go through and get the tractor all cleaned up. I'll get it pressure washed on the outside, try to get some of the undercarriage as well. You're gonna see me do a process that I've done before, which is to get the tractor undercoated. I use LPS 3. I'll show you my process. It works really good. If you watched our video when I was going through all the tractor maintenance, you may have noticed in the undercarriage there is no rust. I mean, it is really, really working good. Hey, by the way, if you have subscribed to our channel in the past, thank you so much. You should always click that little bell icon so it'll notify you whenever we get a new episode released. But also, if you have subscribed, please check to be sure that you're still subscribed. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to pressure wash the whole tractor, but specifically I'm going to try to get underneath it as much as I can, which is why I've got the front bucket all the way up. And by the way, those kind of yellow keepers that I put on the hydraulic cylinder, to me, you just should not be under that bucket. We've all, at one point, had hydraulic hoses blow, right? So you're under there working, I mean, that thing can kill you. So that just adds some safety. But again, I did it so that I could get under the tractor from all sides, and I want to try, it's going to be a little tough, but I want to try to pressure wash underneath the tractor as much as I possibly can. What I'm going to be using today, under the tractor, I've got this Krud Kutter vehicle and boat, and then, and I've already got it in the soap cannon. I'll put the link to both these in the description. The soap cannon is unbelievable. You've heard me talk about it enough. And then for the upper portion of the tractor, I'm going to be using this RV wash and wax. All right, so what I want to get accomplished right now is I want to paint this bucket. Yeah, it's maintenance as far as trying to keep it from rusting, because again, I do plow the driveway with it. Street gets salted, Salt comes in the driveway, so the bucket is handling salt. But also, because if it's painted, it helps to shed the snow a lot easier too. Most of the stains in here are from mulch. It's the dye on the mulch that once you get it on, it's almost impossible to get off. Yeah, so I'll take care of that. Gonna do the sides and the inside of the bucket and any other touch-up that I see on the tractor. So let's do that now. Gonna put several coats on it. Several thin coats. You know, I was thinking, these little handles for spray painting are just awesome. You know, they keep the paint off your hands and, you know, you don't get the fatigue on your finger. I think they're like $7 or something like that with Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. But, you know, I wonder, you know, they don't last. If you've ever used these, they break after. I mean, they're cheaply made. They're made, it says it's made by Rust-Oleum. I'm sure it's an import. But I gotta think that if someone made this out of more substantial material and charged four times that amount, I'd buy it if it was gonna last. This is what I don't understand about manufacturing these days is everything's gotta be cheap to get you to make the purchase, and then you're replacing it, you know, a number of times. I don't understand that, I really don't. How about you guys? All right, that's 2 coats. All right, I'm not making the Mona Lisa here. I think this is gonna do exactly what I intended. I'm also gonna use one other thing, let me show you. So this is called Snow Jet. I've used it in years past. I'm not gonna put it on right now. I've gotta let the paint thoroughly dry, but it's kind of an oily, filmy substance, and it really helps to shed the snow off of the bucket. What happens is that I come in the barn and start the tractor when I'm ready to plow. And of course I open the door, but the barn is always relatively warmer than the outside, so that in and of itself will cause the snow to stick. But this really helps. I'll see if I can find it and put a link in the description as well, but we're gonna wait to spray that on. Again, this paint's gotta totally dry. All right, so what I'm gonna be doing today is, you may have seen, almost 2 years ago, I undercoated the tractor. Now what I used was LPS3. There's various LPS products out there. LPS3 is the one that you want to use. And when I was on there, and you may have noticed in our video when I was doing the maintenance on the tractor, greasing the drive shaft and what have you, I don't have any rust under there at all, which is really amazing considering the fact I do the driveway for snow plowing, and of course the road gets salted, so it brings salt into the driveway, yet I don't have any rust. So I am absolutely sold on LPS3. All right, so this is what I'm going to be using to undercoat the tractor. It is a self-contained sprayer. This is the spray gun that came with it. You can see it's got a pressure gauge on here, and I'm going to hook up the compressor there. So relative to hooking up the compressor, the maximum on this is 60 pounds per square inch. Of course, my compressor goes much higher, so I'll have to adjust the pressure on that. I'm gonna play with the pressure. I'm gonna try something a little bit new this time. I'm gonna bring the product out as pretty much a liquid in a stream, and then I'm gonna turn the pressure up where it's gonna be more atomized to kind of spread the product around. I did this on another piece of equipment. It worked really well. It's gonna look really ugly when it goes on, just to warn you, but I'm also gonna show you what it looks like a couple days later, because I'm gonna leave the tractor on the tarp that it's sitting on right now to drip for a couple days so it doesn't get all over the garage floor. So let me show you what the product itself, what LPS3 looks like. So this is the product. You can see it's kind of like pancake batter. You know, and this is kind of how it's going to go on too. It's going to be very, very noticeable once it goes on. But again, once I atomize it, and then after about 48 hours, you're going to see the difference. It's not going to be quite so apparent on the tractor. So let's get started. Adjust the pressure, and get to work undercoating the tractor. So I've got a couple cameras and a bunch of lights under here. Gonna try to give you guys a good view. So, as I said, this is the reason for the tarp. It's gonna drip. So obviously you see it coming out of here in just a stream rather than being atomized. So this is the process that I'm using. I'm putting it on really thick, and then you'll see later on, like right here, I'm actually atomizing it by turning the pressure up on the compressor. This works really good. It forces all of the material into all the nooks and crannies. And like I said, you can't argue with the level of success. I'll show you later on what it looks like about 48 hours after this process. So one area I definitely want to get is the 3-point hitch. So about 24 hours have passed, actually about 48 hours, and you can see that that product has basically solidified somewhat, and it's not quite as apparent. It'll get even better as time goes on. Also take a look at the 3-point hitch, all coated, ready for winter. Yeah, so that's done. So that pretty well has it covered. So you can see what I did is I put it on kind of non-atomized first, kind of got the product on there, and then adjusted the pressure and got it atomized, and kind of what that does is that forces the LPS3 into all the little nooks and crannies, and works good. Yeah, so right now you've got all that film on there. That is going to stabilize and won't be quite as noticeable. But I'll tell you what else, what's not noticeable is no rust. Now, I did not do this last year. I did it 2 years ago. So you're seeing this tractor now, and remember, I'm plowing a driveway that has a lot of salt being brought from the road, and it sits all winter long. Not a speck of rust underneath this tractor. I mean, this stuff works great. Highly recommend it. All right, now what we're gonna do, the last step in getting ready to plow this winter is to put the one and only attachment that I use on the tractor. I'm going to spray some fluid film on the inside of this. And the reason is, obviously for rust control. but also it helps to shed the snow. When we get a lot of snow, the box blade will fill up with snow and it sticks to it. All right, so this is where I pretty much keep the tractor for the winter. Off to the side here. I'll pull it out when I do various projects. But also over on this wall, I've got the electrical hookup for the trickle charger, which I'll be putting on it. But we are ready for snow. Like I said, I've just got to fuel it, and then, yeah, bring it on, man, bring it on. That's it. We are ready to plow. I'm gonna fuel up the tractor and the heater for the barn, but we're ready to plow snow. I hope you enjoyed this video. Always love being with you guys. God bless you all, and we'll see you next time on Tractors in Life.